Okay, this video is going to help you figure out how to get to the data files you need to complete your homework. So I am in our class, and off to the left-hand side then, we're going to go into where it says modules. There's two ways that you can find your files. This is the first way. So in the modules, you will see that you have individual modules here, like getting started, computer concepts, managing your files, and so forth. So you can click on each individual file. So in the module, I have uploaded the files that you need to complete that activity. So for instance, in managing your files, there's an activity called the module. All of these files are going to be used to be able to complete that module activity. Further down, you're going to see that you have a review activity. These are the files that you need to be able to complete that activity. So what you can do is you can either click on each of the files individually and you can download them. Although I think that this is very time consuming. So instead, I'm going to teach you a different way, probably the way that you're going to prefer to do this. So again, on the left-hand side, if you go into the Files tab, when you go into the Files tab, you're going to see that I have broken it down into the major concepts that we do here. So we do Access, Excel, File Management, Word. We may get to PowerPoint, so I may need to add these for you. But the easiest way to do this then is to download the entire folder so that you have all of the files you need for the entire semester. So I would encourage you to minimize your Canvas so that you are seeing your desktop. And if this is a computer that you are going to be using all the time, for instance, your own personal computer, I would encourage you to put all these files on your desktop so they're easy to access and retrieve when you need to do your homework. So to do this, we're going to go ahead and create a folder on our desktop. So if you right-click on your desktop, right-click, you go down to New, and you click on Folder. We can call this folder, I guess we can call it Intro to Computers. Okay. Now we can go back to our Canvas file, or I'm sorry, our Canvas web browser where our Canvas is open. And let's say that we want to download all of the Word files. Okay, or let's do file management since that's what I was explaining to you earlier. So if we go to file management, if we go over to the right-hand side of that folder, you're going to see these three little dots. And if you click on those dots, it prompts you that you can download them. So we are going to go ahead and click on the download. It says that it's preparing the download. And it asks you here now, where do you want to save this folder at? Well, of course, we're going to save it on that folder, in that folder that we just created on our desktop. So I'm going to scroll up here and I'm going to go to my desktop. And on my desktop, I'm going to locate that folder I just created called Intro to Computers. So I'm going to go ahead and open that by double clicking on it. And I can go ahead then and hit save. And it will go ahead and start that export. Okay. So if I go ahead and minimize Canvas again, I go back to my Intro to Computers folder on my desktop and double click on it to open it. Here are my files that I have exported. Okay. Now you're going to notice that this folder has a little zipper on it. Okay, that means that this folder is what they call a compressed folder. So we need to go ahead and extract this folder so we can see everything that is inside of it. The easiest way to do that is if you right-click on the folder, you're going to see an option called Extract All. We're going to go ahead and click on that option. It asks you, where do you want to save this at? Okay. You can either save it again on your desktop in that folder, in the folder called Course File Export, or I probably am just going to go ahead and save them directly right in that folder so I have less clicking to do. So notice I have not deleted this entire thing. I've just deleted part of it. All right. I go ahead and extract. It may take just a little bit for it to do it, but it looks like it is done. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of this folder. And if I go back into my Intro to Computers folder on my desktop, so again, here's that folder. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on it to open it. Here is my file management folders that I need to be able to complete that activity. So if I go in each of those folders, for instance, we talked about the module, and there was numerous files in there. So if I pull up Canvas and I go into our modules, and I go into file management, for the module, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 files that I need. So I'm going to go back to my desktop, back into that Intro to Computers, back into that file management folder, and I'm going to go into my module. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's all my files for that activity. You then will complete the review activity, and there's the files that you need to complete that. You are going to notice that you have a case problem 1 folder in here. Okay, I may or may not assign that. As you can see from this module, it doesn't look like this is going to be assigned to you, but you can always double check that to make sure. So I guess what I'm saying in other words is that you may download more files than you actually are going to need to be able to complete those units. But don't be alarmed. I do teach this course a lot in many different formats. So there may be files, again, that you download, but you may not need them. So don't be alarmed because, again, each module will tell you what is being assigned. The easiest way to find out what module is being assigned, excuse me, what activities are being assigned is if you go into the links called assignments. It'll break it down for you for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are the 5 things you need to do to complete that module. Okay. All right, so then to be able to finish this, you would again go back to files. We did the file management. We now need to do the Word. So again, we're going to go ahead and download the Word. Again, it goes ahead and it's preparing that for download. And then it's going to go ahead and start that download for me. But before it does that, it will ask me where to save it at. So again, I'm going to go ahead and save it in the Intro to Computers folder on my desktop. Now it's go ahead and starting the download. I can go ahead and go back into my folder. Again, now you're going to notice that I have another folder. Well, I know it's the one with the 1 behind it, and I can tell that based off of ×2 here. So again, I'm going to right click on that folder. I'm going to tell it to go ahead and extract all. Again, it's going to ask us where do we want to save those at. Again, I think the easiest way would just be to put it in that folder called Intro to Computers. I can go ahead and extract it. It does its thing. I go back to my original folder here, and there's my Word. There are 4 units in Word that you're going to be doing. So for instance, 1, 2, 3, 4. If we go to Word Module 1, there's the module, there's the review. If I go into your modules on Canvas, and I go down to Word, there's Word Module 1, Word Module 2, Word Module 3, Word Module 4. And if we go back up to Word Module 1, here are the module files that you need, albums and vinyl. So if I go back and I go into module, there's albums and there's vinyl. So I guess what I'm saying is that the module, the files that are in each module, they will always link up to what you download. Okay, so you don't have to double check that, but it may not hurt to do that. Just to make sure that you're getting off on a good start. But then those are all your Word ones. Okay, so just to kind of clear things up for me a little bit, because we're starting to get a couple of these, I don't need these any longer, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete those. Since I extracted them, I don't need this compressed folder anymore, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete it. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that one too, just to make it a little bit easier for me to navigate. Now, you would need to go ahead and repeat these steps for all of the remaining folders that you see underneath the files. So we've done file management, we've done Word. You now need to do Excel, you now need to do Access, and also if I add the PowerPoint folder to this, you will need to do that for the PowerPoint also.